Hi, and thank you for joining this session on month-end review. My name is Rochelle O'Brien and I'm a product manager at QuickBooks UK. Month-end review is a new feature available to accountants and bookkeepers. It provides you with an easy-to-use workflow for managing month-end tasks in your clients' books, which are typically carried out as part of month-end. In designing the feature, we spoke to accountants and bookkeepers about the challenge of creating a consistent process for those month-end tasks. The result of that research was the creation of a new feature, one which provides an easy-to-use workflow for month-end and includes some of the best practices that accountants and bookkeepers told us about. Month-end review was added to the QuickBooks Online Accountant product at no extra cost to our partners. Let's take a look at it in the product now.
As you can see, I'm in the books of one of my clients, and I can go to the month-end review by selecting that option on the left navigation. Across the top, you can see that I can adjust the time period I'm reviewing using the pencil icon, which is just beside the date. Below that, you'll find 3 sections of the month-end review: transaction review, account reconciliation, and final review. So I'll start in the transaction review. It starts by advising me to review bank transactions. Now obviously we'd want to make sure that we've got all our transactions added for the period, so selecting review now would actually take you to the banking screen. So a little bit further down you see these open issues highlighted. In this section I can resolve some of the errors which may have arisen in my client's books. The clever thing here is that QuickBooks has already looked at my books and it's highlighted any causes of concern. As you can see, that includes uncategorized transactions, transactions without payees, and unapplied payments. So I've got a few things to look into. Now I can either click on the individual transaction for it to open up and edit, or if I've got a number of transactions, I can actually use a batch reclassify function here, which is great. I can save a lot of time by applying the payee to 3 transactions in one go. The reclassify transaction tool, which is another accountant only tool, is available in the accountant tools on the top navigation. It's hugely popular amongst any accountants who use it, so it's great to see that functionality added here as well, because this is the time and place that you're going to need it. Finally, if I go down the bottom, you've got lots of these extra checks that you can carry out. There are some suggested ones, and you can add your own as well, so it's very customizable. Different firms have different workflows and checks, so here's where you can make the month-end review work for you. And I've done that in this example here. So I've got an expense account that I created in my chart of accounts, and I call it Ask My Accountant. I ask my client, whenever you're not sure where to put something, just put it in Ask My Accountant and then give me a description of what it is, and then I can go and categorize it when the time comes, so probably at month end. From here, what I can do now is click on the link and it takes me directly to any transactions that were posted to this account and gives me the chance to move them to the right place. I created that link myself just by copying it from the address bar when I was looking at the report, and then I just needed to include it on the QuickBooks page link here. So with all of those areas, you have this status checker. So as you or your team moves through the key tasks, you're going to be able to keep track of what's done. And you can see it within the client's month-end review, but you can actually track it for all of your clients from the client list as well, and I'm going to show you that at the end. The second section of the month-end review is the account reconciliation page. It includes what you would expect: bank accounts, your credit cards, and basically a history of the reconciliation. But also there are additional items, just like we saw in the transaction review. Therefore, you'll be able to add your own items here, which you think are important. The final review then is where you have your key reports to check. So your profit and loss, your balance sheet, and you can of course add more, the same as how you would add in the extra steps in the other sections. And then you'll be able to just tick them off when you're done. I'm going to visit the client list now so you can see how it might look when you use this across your clients. As you can see from here, once I select bookkeeping on the client list, I can see the status of the month-end review. I had all of my tasks ticked off in one section, so that's why it's appearing here on my client list with the green tick. So if you do start using this across your client base, you're going to find it really easy to monitor how you and your team are doing with that month-end workflow. So as you can see, you'll get a month-end review in each of your clients, and we hope that it provides you with a simple, consistent workflow that you can use for some of your clients. It also provides a significant amount of flexibility and allows you to build out some of the flows which are important to you. One example of how this has been used in an accountancy firm, and I thought it was clever, was in the use of regular journal entries which needed to be completed at month end. In the example I heard, it was a wages journal. And because it changes every month, they didn't want to set up a scheduled recurring journal. So they added the unscheduled journal entry as an additional item in the transaction section. And that can be done as follows. The journal entry is created as an unscheduled journal. I can find that journal in the list of recurring transactions. Then I just use the option to use and it opens up the journal. From there I can copy the address from the address bar. So I copy that link. Next I go back into the month-end review and in transactions and I can paste my link in here. I can add more information in the detail if I need to, but I'm not going to do that now. Once it's saved, every month a member of the team can come in here, see from the status that the wages journal has not been created, but then they can create it from here. And then they just mark it as complete. It's just one example, but I thought it was a clever application.
That's it for month-end review. I hope that you can find even more clever ways of integrating month-end review into the work of your firm. I trust that when you do, you will benefit from the transparency, consistency, and time savings that the other firms have already achieved.